The estimation methods of distributed lag models are given in this section. We follow three important methods for the estimation of distributed lag model. They are ad hoc estimation method, a priori restrictions on the parameter, and it was mainly propounded by Koek. And the third one is the rationalization of Koek model. And the rationalized models include adaptive expectation model propounded by Kagan and Friedman, stock adjustment model or partial adjustment model by Mark Nerlow, and Ullmann's approach. It is known as the polynomial distributed lag models. These are the three important models propounded by these are the other three important model which comes under the rationalized model of Koek. The method of estimation of distributed lag models are divided into two. First one is the ad hoc estimation method, and the second one is a priori restrictions on the parameters. And it includes Koek model and the rationalized Koek models. Rationalized Koek models include adaptive expectation model propounded by Kagan and Friedman, stock adjustment model or partial adjustment model by Mark Nerlow, and Ullmann's approach by polynomial distributed lag model. Ullmann's approach or the polynomial distributed lag. The first one is the ad hoc estimation method, and the second one a priori restrictions on the parameters. And the types of distributed lag models are as follows: finite lag models, and this finite lag model means the number of lags will be defined or given, and it is given as yt equal to alpha plus beta 0 x2 plus beta 1 xt minus 1 plus beta 2 xt minus 2 plus beta k xt minus k plus ut. And the infinite lag models yt equals to alpha plus beta 0 xt plus beta 1 xt minus 1 plus beta 2 xt minus 2 plus ut. Here this lag is not defined. In this case, finite lag model, the number of lag or the lag is defined. Here up to beta xt minus k, the lag extends up to xt minus. Here the lag is not defined, therefore it is the infinite lag model. And these two models are used for the estimations, or there exist different methods for the estimation of distributed lag models. Based on these models, we uses the infinite lag models for the estimation of ad hoc and a priori restrictions on betas by assuming beta follows some systematic pattern. That is, for the estimation of these two methods, we uses the infinite lag model, which is defined as yt equal to alpha plus beta 0 xt plus beta 1 xt minus 1 plus beta 2 xt minus 2 plus ut. The first one is ad hoc estimation of distributed lag model, and this method is method of ordinary least square. Ad hoc estimation method is known as the method of ordinary least square, and this approach was suggested by Alt and Tinbergen. The explanatory variable xt is assumed to be non-stochastic or at least uncorrelated with the disturbance term ut. That is, xt minus 1, xt minus 2 and so on are non-stochastic. That is, here the explanatory variable xt is assumed to be in the infinite lag model given here. The xt and xt minus 1 are assumed to be non-stochastic, and therefore they are uncorrelated with the disturbance term, and we can apply the principle of least square or the Euler's method for the estimation of this model. This is the rationality behind the ad hoc estimation of distributed lag model, or the application of the ordinary least square method. In this the application of ordinary least square method, they suggested a sequential procedure, that is stepwise procedure for the estimation of the model, and it is explained as follows. Step 1, first regress yt on xt, then yt on xt, xt minus 1, yt on xt, xt minus 1 and xt minus 2 and so on. And this sequential procedure stops when the regression coefficient of the lagged variable starts becoming statistically insignificant, or the coefficient of at least one of these variables changes sign from positive to negative or vice versa. That is, in this model, the stepwise model is in this manner, that the stepwise model is done, or ordinary least square method is applied in a stepwise manner. First regress yt on xt, then yt on xt, xt minus 1, then yt on xt, xt minus 1 and xt minus 2 and so on. But then the question will arise, this is an infinite lag model, where to stop this? And the two conditions are given. When the sign of this lagged coefficient changes, then we can stop. Or if this significance of a lagged term turns into insignificance, then we can stop the regression method, or we can stop the sequential procedure. This is the condition. This is the method of the ordinary least square method. And he has given an example, and he regressed fuel oil consumption Y on new orders X based on the quarterly data for the period 1930 to 1939. The results are given below. First he regressed y2 on xt, then y2 on xt minus 1, then y2 on xt minus 1, xt minus 2, then y2 on xt minus 1, xt minus 2, and xt minus 3. And then these are the sequential procedure, and he stopped the regression, or he selected this as the model. The simple reason is that in this model the level of design of this model sign of xt minus 2 changes, and therefore he selected this regression up to xt minus 1 as the model for the estimation of this lagged model, and therefore he selected the second model as the model for the estimation. Now, he selected this model simply because here the sign of xt minus 2 is not stable, and therefore he has not selected xt minus 2, and he selected this model as the model for the interpretation. Merit of this model is that it is very simple to apply, but it has some drawbacks. First one, there is no a priori guide as to what is the maximum lag length of the lag. There is no a priori guide as to what is the maximum length of the lag. Second one, as one estimates successive lags, there are fewer degrees of freedom left, making statistical inference difficult. That is, as one estimates successive lags, there are fewer degrees of freedom left. That is, if we increase the number of steps, or if we go on adding the number of variables, then there is the problem of the loss of degrees of freedom that will affect the significance of the model. And third one is that in economic time series that a successive lag tends to be highly correlated, hence the multicollinearity problem also arises in the case if we apply the Euler's method or the ad hoc method. Here, if we do the regression on successive lags, then there will be every problem of multicollinearity, and for the problem is that if we extends the number of lags, then there will be every problem of data mining. We have to collect data on these lags, and there will be the problem of the collection of the data or the data mining problem. So these are some of the important problems of the distributed lag model. That is, there is no a priori guide as to what is the maximum length. Second one, as one estimates successive lag, there are the loss of degrees of freedom. Then third one, there will be the problem of multicollinearity. Then there will be the problem of the data mining. These are some of the important problems associated with the distributed lag models. These are some of the problems associated with the application of ordinary least square method or ad hoc estimation method.